of perjury with intent to defraud and was sentenced to 500 hours of community service at the Milliken Avenue Daycare Center.
It doesn't have to be heartbreak.
How am I weird?
You're alright. Love can be a beautiful thing.
Fancy her next door? Don't.
See you later!
Scared to be called queer. Are you?
Just talk to me!
Some things are just hard to say.
Give us an E or I spread it round where you slept last week.
Does this mean we're engaged?
The Film on 4 premiere, A Beautiful Thing, Wednesday at 10:30.
Mad cow disease and now mad sheep disease. The nightmare gets worse. Dispatches has alarming new evidence. Next on 4.
Chat and date. Call friends and swap telephone numbers 0891 59 59 59.
Argos has heaps of Christmas gift ideas. For a precious mum, for a gorgeous girl, for a talkative aunt, for your prettiest daughter, aren't they all? For your star performer, for the spaced out twins, for your handyman, for your own special spice. Please them all at a price you'll like. Pick up a December copy of Argos Plus now.
The very best of Sting and the Police for only $12.99. Track it down at our price.
There are many different ways to communicate, but with Nokia's range of mobile phones, it's never been easier. Our new Nokia 3110 phone, for instance, has the unique Navi key that performs every function. And with our Nokia communicator, it's as easy to fax as it is to phone. Nokia, connecting people.
Sony SuperTrinitron wide. Be careful what you watch.
Nothing beats Vanish on this. Or these. And to make even these disappear, pour on thick Vanish liquid, add it to your normal wash, and see the difference. Stains vanish with Vanish.
The new hammer drills from Bosch put technology at your fingertips. Our unique press and lock system and 600 watts of power means they're faster and easier to use. Bosch, excellence comes as standard.
There's a new aftershave that's fresh. No, fresher than that. That's it. New Whitewater from Old Spice.
I am a bird floating gently on the wing.
Exquisite performance. Hankook tyres.
An inkjet print is made up of millions of dots. A great one is made up of millions of dots that are pin sharp. Only the Epson stylus has a crystal print head that gives you the pin sharpest dots. And that means pretty impressive prints. Epson, there's no comparison for around £229.
Hugo.
Hugo?
Yeah, Hugo for women. The new fragrance. Hugo for women.
Don't imitate, innovate.
It's Christmas, the season of goodwill. So get the Millers in and tune in to the Miller Time Christmas Special, or we'll send the carol singers around.
Come on, guys. Don't be alone. To make new friends, just pick up the phone. 0891. Gay chat. 35, 35, 35.
His mistress, his bodyguard, his mafia connection. The people closest to JFK are breaking their silence with new evidence that has shocked America. A secret live special, John F. Kennedy, Wednesday at 9 on 4.
You're watching 4 with Dispatches.
It's the nightmare that won't go away. Many experts fear an epidemic. So who failed to protect us from mad cow disease? The politicians? The scientists? We're promised an inquiry. Tonight, dramatic new evidence for that inquiry. An insider tells how vital research was censored and scientists gagged, and why the infection could now be in sheep. BSE, the hidden story. This man is a former government scientist. For the first time, he'll reveal how crucial clues that BSE was a threat to humans were censored. He welcomes the promised public inquiry into the whole crisis, but any inquiry will be worthless unless it investigates the hidden story of BSE.
I am determined to continue to put consumer safety first, to rely on the best available scientific advice, and to be utterly open about all the information upon which I act.
I didn't exactly expect openness, but I didn't expect that my work would be censored. I didn't expect that for a moment.
When bovine spongiform encephalopathy was first identified by the government's Central Veterinary Laboratory in late 1986, Ian McGill was still at veterinary college. A high flyer, he worked at the laboratory while still a student and gained a full-time post when he qualified. It was a prize job, working in a new field.
And BSE diseases like that, particularly interesting to you?
Yeah, when I was in the final year, that was very prominent, so I was particularly interested in pursuing that line of research.
And presumably that made the Central Veterinary Laboratory a good place to be at that time?
Yeah, it made it the place to go at that particular moment, yeah.
But he soon reached the conclusion that the Central Veterinary Laboratory, part of the Ministry of Agriculture, was a secretive place, working to a political agenda.
I just assumed that there would be things to find out and I'd go around finding them out, which is a kind of naive, supposition that that was what it was going to be like. The way it was structurally set up was not that the science will drive the politics, but that the politics will drive the science.
And that's wrong.
That's clearly wrong.
1987 was a record year for beef sales. Britain spent over £2 billion on it, but thousands of diseased animals were going into our food. From that moment on, every day the government failed to call on the best scientific advice or act on it, millions of us would be exposed to a potential threat.
It looked like a new disease involving an agent about which we understood very, very little and still do. The animals involved were eaten by people, and therefore it seemed to me that this was a subject of considerable concern. I stopped eating beef then, all sorts of beef products, and actually I think that was a reasonable decision.
Carol and Keith Humphreys, a typical couple who ate the kinds of food enjoyed by millions of Britons in the late 80s. Without knowing it, Keith was putting his life at risk.
We had a pretty sort of normal diet, really. At that time, we were probably eating things like lasagna, chili, you know, sort of fast foods. We never really ate anything like brains or kidneys, liver. Keith never ate anything like that.
10 points.
They were aware of what the media were calling mad cow disease, but the message they understood from the authorities was, it's nothing to worry about.
We'd listened to news items, but that hadn't made an impact on us. Not enough to have stopped us eating before to have caused any concern for us at that point. That is the awful thing about it. We did not take any risks. Someone took the risks with us. You know, that's one of the things about this and how it's come about is we were not given the choice. People now know that there is a potential risk to eating beef and they take that choice. We did not have the choice then.
But there were already clues. Back in 1980, 6 years before anyone had heard of BSE, leading American scientist Dr. Joe Gibbs did tests on monkeys, which found they could get various spongiform encephalopathies, like the sheep brain disease, scrapie, by eating just an ounce of infected material. Dr. Gibbs is an expert advisor on brain diseases to the World Health Organization. Today he heads a team of scientists at the National Institutes of Health outside Washington, D.C.